Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day in the market. We got CPI data coming in cooler than actually expected. They expected that big drop and they got it and then some. So, we're going to go into all that stuff. But that's what you're seeing a lot of green on right now. And also, we talked about this rebalancing of the NASDAQ 100. And I'm going to go into that. Some of you guys are gracious enough to send me some information on that. This was done in 2011 as well. I'll show you the chart, show you how it reacted. Doesn't mean that's the way it's going to happen now, but we'll have to see on that. Talk about the Russell 2000, a lot of rotation going on, still happening actually. So I'm going to show you all that right there. And understand, I apologize for yesterday. I recorded the video 3 times. One, the audio just didn't work. Second time, I thought I had it fixed. Hit the mute button on the mic, didn't know it. That was 45 minutes of time out in this sweat box because I record in a sunroom in Florida, so it gets pretty hot. And I can't open the windows because there'll be too much noise coming in and stuff. And then the third time, halfway through it, said the memory chip card was full. I said, you know what? I'm going to do my members video, post that, go to the gym, take some frustration out on the weights, and call it a day because I had a lot of good information in there. So I'm going to put some of that information in this video for you guys. And the audio is definitely working because I've triple checked it. So I do want to start off with a rant, which I had yesterday, but I'll put it in this video. I'll make it short as possible. But I cannot be the only person in America that gets upset about this stuff. And it's because a crime is a crime, people. I don't care if it's a person doing it or a company doing it, okay? But when you target everyday Americans because you know you can get away with it because you're a big corporation, it does upset me, okay? And understand, we've gone through this before, and I don't know how many times we got to go through this, and I guess it'll go on forever because these big corporations write big checks to our politicians. But look at this, man. We went through this with Wells Fargo, and now you got B of A. Right? B of A is going to pay $250 million for double dipping and opening fake accounts, okay, which is just ridiculous. And so, they got charged with double dipped on overdraft fees, open accounts, without customers' consent, which we'll talk about in just a minute what that actually is. And of course, these consumers, hopefully, if you were one of them that got screwed over, hopefully you get part of the $100 million. I don't understand why the government gets even more. That makes no sense to me. But it says right here, the nation's largest bank once charged consumers a $35 fee when they authorize a transaction from their accounts that lack insufficient funds. Then the CFPB said Bank of America has double dipped by charging consumers a fee each time those transactions were reattempted by the merchants for multiple years. Check this now. Starting in September 2018, so 5 years almost, it made hundreds of millions of dollars in such fees. The OCC also called out Bank of America for the same double dipping practice. Goes on to say, probably one of my favorite parts here, the CFPB said the bank also withheld credit card rewards and open accounts for customers without their consent since 2012, so over a decade of this hot mess. And I got to ask, look, I'm not a cop, nor am I, some kind of district attorney or something, but I'm not dumb. What do you call it when somebody takes your name, your birthday, your social security number, and opens up accounts without your permission, right? Isn't that identity theft, identity fraud? I'm sure there's many different levels, but it's a crime. And if you and I opened up hundreds or thousands of accounts, right, without a person's permission using their personal data, what would happen to us? I know what I'd be doing. I'd be trying to get a plea deal to spend the least amount of time in jail I could. You know what I'm saying? What would you be doing? But these companies, you heard, hundreds of millions, right? And people go, yeah, but they're paying $250 million in fines. Do you realize that's been going on since 2012? They've been doing this hot mess. Do you know how much money they made? I will guarantee it was more than $250 million. Wells Fargo has been fined, 3 times that I know of for doing stuff like this. And you don't think the people at the top know what's going on, right? I mean, that's what just, and I'm telling you what frustrates me. Obviously, it's the price of doing business for them. We go to jail. But it's the price of doing business for them. That's just the way it is. And they get away with it because they write these huge checks to the politicians so they make sure nothing happens to them. And again, they sued when they wanted to try to contribute money to these campaigns saying, oh, companies are, businesses are people. Really? Well, if you're people, when it comes to contributing to these politicians, how about you be people and we'll treat you like people when you commit crimes? So the chairman of the board, CEO, CFO, you get to be charged. How about that? Because you know what would happen if that were the case? You would never hear this stuff happening again. Wouldn't happen. Not going to happen, right? And so, but again, would that ever happen? Of course not. But and again, maybe I'm just old fashioned and whatever, or older or something, but it's just ridiculous. And it's going to continue to go on. They'll just keep letting it happen. And look how many years have been going on for if they finally went, wait a minute, what's going on over there? I guess it was just their turn up, right? So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to stop on now because I can go on for a freaking hour about that. Now, getting into some good news, right? I mean, CPI. This is core CPI. That's really the most important one you want to look at. That's what the Fed really cares about. And you look to the right over there, that's a big drop, right? I mean, that's the lowest level since we've seen since what, January 2021? That's the 1 month change. And then the 3 month change you can see is going in the right direction. Now, of course, where is inflation, right? You may disagree or agree with this. Let me know in the comments, okay? A lot of it's in pets and pet products, rents, we know about that one, restaurant meals, personal care, housing, groceries, hotel rooms, alcohol, recreation, new vehicle. I thought earnings was interesting, by the way. Prescription drugs, education, that's always. Clothing, right? College tuition. And then if we come down, where is it not? Way down at the bottom, gasoline's falling off a cliff. Airfare surprised me just because of hearing the CEOs talk or whatever, but I guess compared to what they were charging, it has come down over the year. Rental cars, used vehicles, transportation, household energy, and what to see on as far as like gas and all that stuff, because some of the members I've been talking, and you see it happening right now, what's going on with energy stocks and energy in general. So I have to look at that. Now, what might surprise you is the fact that even after this good data came out, the market said, you know what? Now we're going to raise it to a 95% chance that they go ahead and do a rate hike coming up on July 26th, right? And that might be surprising. What about the next meeting? Can we skip August? Well, there they go, no, it's going to be a pause, right? 82%, only 13% chance of another raise. And most of you are probably asking, like, why would they do another rate hike, right? If they got good data here, what's the deal? And the only thing I can come up with, maybe you can come up with something better, is, again, they're trying to make sure more people get unemployed. But more importantly, they're trying to get the wages down, okay? Because I almost guarantee these companies are complaining. You know what I'm saying? Because they are having to pay more, and they can only hold the cost up or keep increasing costs only so much, right? But even if they start, it flattens out, guess what? Wages, if you keep giving people raises and they're starting here, all of a sudden they're way up here, right? Versus used to, they were way down here, if you can see that. And so it's the only thing I can think is maybe that's what they're trying to do, because you can see right here, the wage growth tracker, and see where it's at. I mean, it's like 6%. It's come down some. But when you look at where it was, I mean, we ain't been over this. I mean, God, that was back in the late 90s right there. But on average, you're looking between 3 and 4%. So we're still way above that right there. And what skews this is literally like fast food workers, things like that. Because remember, you used to get paid like $8 to flip a burger less than 3 years ago. And now all of a sudden, or before the pandemic, and now all of a sudden, I still see signs $12 to $15, and that's in the South. I don't know what you guys are paying them in California and New York. I mean, one of you guys sent me one from Vegas. What was it, 18, 19 bucks or something maybe, or even 20, I think it was. And guys, before we continue, if you get anything out of this, please hit that thumbs up down there. I really appreciate it. And if you like the material here and the videos, think about subscribing. Now, talking about this rebalancing real quick. This did happen in 2011, also happened in the late 90s, but again, I like to go off 21st century data and stuff. And you can see right here, as you read this, it says, the current index shares and the new index shares that become effective prior to the market open on May 2nd. And then down below, you can see estimated weight change per index security. That's going to take place on April 4th. And when we come to the chart again, I don't know why this happened back then, because I can't remember. I mean, this is a while back, man. So 2011. It dropped 4% on the April 4th data, and then when the other date, it dropped 10%. Does that mean that's going to happen now? No. But the question is, when they take weights from the other ones, right, and then they move it to other stocks, I don't know if they're going to spread it, equally across all of them. They're going to pick certain stocks. But again, if those certain stocks don't perform like those mega cap stocks have been doing, of course the index is going to have problems going up. I mean, that's just the way it is, because again, we know what the Magnificent Seven has done and how much it is accounted for all the gains when it comes to the NASDAQ 100. So just keep that in mind. We'll have to see and stuff, and we'll talk about why it might affect even more in just a few minutes here. But again, the big one is breadth, more market participation, right? And so what are you seeing? The IWM, the Russell 2000, again, it closed, well, it gapped up this morning. Big move up, right? got above the all-time high anchor VWAP, got above 92, which is good. And again, if we add a trend line in here coming down, you can see 3 points have already touched and reject. So I'd say around what, 190, 192, 193, somewhere in there. To look, I think it's where it's going to hit that trend line. Again, RSI looks great on this, by the way. Again, let's add in the rounding bottom right here, as we can see. Realistically, if we keep moving, especially break through that trend line right there, between 200, 210 is something to look at. Remember, this is not one of those. Sometimes it can be a high for an hour, but because, again, it doesn't have a magnificent 7 to ride or anything like that, you're going to get your short squeezes and everything moving up. And again, we talked about this before. This is a ratio of IWM versus the SPY. We talked about it weeks ago, right? And sometimes you just hit these levels to where the algos just kick in and it starts buying. It starts rotating in. And I'm going to start, confessing, look, I got a whole folder. I'm doing a whole video for the members on this either Thursday or next Tuesday, because I don't use these ratios enough. But sometimes you can literally just go out the ratios as a confirmation of when you should start DCing in or maybe even doing a trade, because you can see there's sometimes the Russell outdoes the SPY when this chart is going up, but it's been getting crushed by the SPY. And what do you see it doing now? It's trading sideways, which means the IWM is holding its ground with the SPY. It's not outperforming it, but it's holding its ground. But let me tell you something. When the Russell gets on a roll, and you saw that in March 2020 going to May of 2021, look what happened. The SPY was up, was it 77%? And you think, that's great. But look at what the Russell 2000 did. It almost doubled it. Same time frame, up 133%. So when it gets on a roll, absolutely it can do it. Does that mean it's going to do it this time? No, but it's holding its own. The ratio, it doesn't have to be going up for that to mean the Russell's going up, because the SPY and Russell can both be going up. But make sure it's trading sideways, not getting destroyed down. So just keep that in mind, okay? Now the Qs, what do you got? Obviously, it broke above that 372, which we talked about before. You can see trying to hold it. So actually got a 374, which is really good. And then, if we go I'm going to go to the daily, not the week. Let me switch over to the daily here. You can see, obviously, if it continues up, we can retest that, stay above it, right? Then, and you can see right here why it fell right there. 375 area, that's resistance. If it gets through that, though, again, what you're seeing to the left, that's all-time highs over there, right? But 380 will be in the cards, okay? So just keep that in mind. And if I had to get, how far are we from all-time highs? Let me just measure this real quick just for giggles here. And you can see, isn't this crazy? We're only 9% off all-time highs, right? That's crazy. But again, what else is happening? We're talking about breadth here. Skipping back to that. QQEW moving up. It's going to end up eclipsing probably, 110, 111 area. We'll give it, a new high over the last year and a half, I guess. It already set a new 52-week high recently here, as you can see, when it eclipsed over the June high right there. And then if we go into RSP, you can see this one obviously is lagging. But again, if it moves up another 2%, there's going to be a new 52-week high for this, right? That's bullish. Now, one thing to watch out for, a lot of people say, man, we're overextended. You're right. We're definitely getting there, that's for sure. And understand these kind of ETFs, these equal weight ETFs, they're not like the Qs or anything. They don't go into overbought territory for long periods of time. And they're getting close to being overbought now. And when they do that, you usually get like a 3 to 8% pullback. So, look at that and you see QQEW right here. And you see kind of the same thing. It's not the Qs because it's equal weighted. And so when it gets into overbought, you get a decent pullback. And not to mention, we look at this right here, fear and greed index today. It's at 80. It's been at 85. We've been extreme greed, I think, 4 straight weeks or something now. And so, that's what's happening. And obviously, looking at other stocks, you can see what's going on with Chinese stocks. All up today, kicking butt, taking names, what happened. And what happened was simple. It's news, right? It comes out there and the Chinese premier meets with major tech companies and vows more support and everything, right? And of course, these fines we talked about on Ant Group and Tencent is kind of seen as this last bit crackdown. So they'll finally just let them function as is. We'll see if that's the case or not. Remember, it's about where money's flowing, not fundamentals and stuff, okay? Just keep that in mind. Now, Shop, right? Shopify, been on a nice big run or whatever. And when you look at it, it's been hovering and ranging between like 60 and 65, somewhere in there. And then when we add the moving averages, you can see what happened. Got to bounce off the 50 3 days ago, right? So that's actually a good positive. 200 is inclined up, which is a good thing to see. And so this one definitely could be targeting 72 as its next price. And of course, why is this happening? One reason, don't think they left out AI. They ended up announcing today They're going to have some AI chat bot called Sidekick to help their entrepreneurs and stuff. And so again, remember how high this was during 2020? What did it get up to, like 500 or some crazy mess? I forgot, but it's kind of one of those stocks and everything. Now NVDA, huge breakout, this rising wedge right here. Tested all-time highs again, and of course semiconductors were just on fire. That's why I'm gonna blow through these because all of them were moving high. Again, AMD, we talked about this one. It's going up in that volume gap. If it gets up there, 118 is gonna be a good target for it. Might see a good pullback if this rally continues. Again, don't forget we got earnings coming up Friday for banks, a lot next week. So just keep that in mind. Meta, huge day for Meta. I mean, it broke through at 300 like it was just on fire. And this is one of those ones, right here. I mean, I would say, honestly, 324, 325 could be where it's going to go. You're not going to get much resistance till then because, again, if you look to the left, those are all-time highs over there. Okay, it's still 25% off of them, but still, that's all-time highs. Tesla, to me, it was a quiet day, obviously, when everything was kind of, ripping and roaring. But to me, it's just setting in what I call a bull flag to me. This is what Tesla tends to do. It'll get in this kind of formation. Again, we got earnings coming up next week, so it could stay there a little bit. Again, it left another gap behind today. So it's 3 gaps down in a row right there, going from 256 up to 275. Keep that in mind. And if it does break that bull flag, then I got 307 as my next target. Let me know in the comments what yours is. Now, understand what's happening, and I've read articles on this actually showing this actually is good if you want to consider this the new bull market and stuff, is meme stocks. What's going on in meme stocks? Boom. High beta stuff is just flying. You see the rounding bottom right here on a meme stock ETF called Round Hill, I believe it is. And, what else is going on? All the ARK stocks. I told the members of ARK G, this is ARK F, ARK K, all look the same. Rounding bottom, breaking a trend line, set a new 52-week high. I think ARK K's done it, ARK F's done it, and ARK G has done it. And so just keep that in mind. Like, these are the kind of stocks, right? Look what's going on with Roku and stuff, all right? And as far as tomorrow, the only thing we got going on is PPI month over month. And again, I expect this to be going down. I mean, that's what they expect, and this is what the Fed likes to look at. So keep that in mind. And just as a side note, because a lot of you guys like to sign up for the membership and do the trials and everything, if you go in there, if you don't have a Discord account, that's fine. You can go on Patreon. I post all the videos and any trade ideas, any charts on watch. I post them right there, but please make sure you go and watch the members' videos, okay? I put all kinds of stuff in there. I keep them short, like 3 to 6 minutes. I think they're fast and easy to watch. Most people appreciate them, so please do that because I do get a lot of questions, and literally all the answers are right there in the videos and stuff, okay? And most of the time I'll point them to you. If you do have Discord, there's actually a channel just for the members' videos and stuff I put out and everything. So please that's a house cleaning statement there, but please just do that for me. And of course, let me know what you think and stuff. So obviously tomorrow we do have some earnings coming out. Delta's going to come out, and I know Centos is going to come out and a few others. But, we'll see what happens on that one. And people question, like, how much is already priced into the Delta earnings? Don't know. Again, watch oil again. That's not good for airlines or anything because energy seems to be making a pop. Why? Because it's sitting in one of those levels, okay? And so, we were talking about that, and so it seems to be happening in the oil stocks, Oxy and all them seem to be pumping as well. So, again, how's it going to affect CPI down the road? Who knows, right? And so, because again, never in history is it just going like straight down without some hiccups along the way, and maybe that's why they're doing the rate hike. We'll have to see. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think and stuff. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you got anything out of this. I really appreciate all you guys watching this stuff, and I hope you have a wonderful night.